Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Sizzler and I have no dispute, Beanie says after pepper seed incident. Despite online rumors that there is bad blood between veteran artist Sizzler Kalanji and Beanie Man, the king of dancehall is refuting these claims and is assuring fans that there is no dispute between him and the dry cry singer. In a statement issued on Sunday, Beanie Man sought to explain the events that transpired during a live performance at Pepper Seed in Kingston on Saturday, May 21, which saw him being escorted offstage by police officers. Beanie squarely placed the blame on show promoters for the event's late start and then capping the time allotted for him to perform for his fans. If a man want cut me off tonight, them cut me off. But me come tonight for work. Hush, and me gonna start the show late. Me come here for work, and me a work me time when me get, Beanie Man said. He even added that, no boy can give me 20 minutes, me a bad man, and what happened to you? Professionalism should be the pinnacle of all business transactions. On Saturday, May 21st, I was booked to perform at the Pepper Seed live event. I had a contract with the promoter for a band performance for 30 minutes, and I was the only artist booked at the time to perform on bands. I had a contract with the band, and I paid the band for my set, Beanie Man explained in his statement. He went on to reveal that his set was subsequently extended to 45 minutes a few hours before his performance. He also revealed that the promoters had also requested that Sizzler be allowed to perform with Beanie Man's band. Once I started performing 15 to 20 minutes into my set, I was told the promoter said 5 minutes with no explanation, no disclosure of time constraints, no explanation of permit problems, or prior request to cut the set short, Beanie Man's statement read. The promoter had ample time to discuss this with my management and the band members, but he waited until we were in the middle of the set to send the police on stage to cut the show short. Indicating he is one of the easiest artists to do business with, Beanie Man said he hopes his explanation will quench rumors that he and Sizzler are at loggerheads. Big up Sizzler. Me and Sizzler can't have no problem, and we both made that clear so to the media. Stop spread lies. I hope the narrative being circulated now is cleared because Sizzler and I have no dispute, the king of the dancehall said. No monkeypox case in Jamaica Health Ministry. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has indicated that there are no reported cases of monkeypox in Jamaica at present, but has sought to remind the public that should anyone develop a fever and a rash following recent international travel, a report must be made to the relevant authorities. In a release issued, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jacqueline Bisosa McKenzie, she also shared that healthcare workers are to have a heightened sense of awareness of this illness and report suspected cases to the health department. The health ministry also said that at present, the COVID-19 practices of physical distancing, mask wearing, and frequent hand sanitizing will reduce the likelihood of transmission of the monkeypox virus. Children are said to be at higher risk and monkeypox during pregnancy and may lead to complications, congenital monkeypox, or stillbirth. Franklin Town residents lash cops for failing to clear roadblocks mounted by thugs. Superintendent in charge of Kingston Eastern Police Division, Tommy Lee Chambers, is moving to assure residents of some sections of Franklin Town who have grown frustrated over roadblocks mounted by people believed to be thugs that the cops are going to clear the roadways. In a recent interview, Chambers said that we are waiting on the front-end loaders to assist us. We requested those from specialized operations, so as soon as we get them, then it will be cleared. Chambers did not say what timeline was given to her by specialized operations for the equipment to be available. In the meantime, residents continue to accuse the police of taking too long to remove the roadblocks, some of which were mounted as far back as November last year. The residents have alleged that following a drive-by shooting, criminal elements used that as an excuse to block the roads. According to some residents, the roadblocks were geared towards preventing drive-by shootings, but to create a cover for gunmen to walk about freely. A male resident who requests not to be named told reporters that he felt the police have been turning a blind eye to the situation and have shown little interest to deal with the problem. Last Friday, reporters obtained photographs of at least 2 roadblocks in the community. One is located near the intersection of Wellington Street and Somerset Avenue, and another was seen close to York Street and Cumberland Avenue intersection. "We are very, very upset about the roadblocks by thugs. They blocked the road from November and are adamant that them now pull it. And every time something pops up, they say they are going to block more of it. The police go to them begging them to remove the roadblock, and them say them now pull it. Every day the police them just a drive around without any attempt to remove it," claimed the resident. What happened the other day was there was a guy whose mother was sick, and when she was to go to the hospital, the road blocked up. Her son had to push her in a wheelchair because no taximan can't get access. No bus no come in a Franklin town again, so the robot taxi them around things. It was a route for the robot taxis, but they have to divert now to Victoria Street. Them can't come on Wellington Street, he added. With a new police station opening in the community in March, another resident implored the leadership of the division to ensure that they have more than enough personnel at the location to prevent activities such as roadblocks that facilitate gangsters who wish to parade the community with their illegal firearms. She said the police should not be yielding to the criminals. Them man they say with the roadblock, nobody can come shoot up the place. But the police have a new and bigger police station, and they're turning a blind eye to the roadblocks. The thugs like the roadblocks because they can have their guns on them. It is easier because them can see the police from far. It has to be addressed. People have to say that the police is weak. How police can negotiate with man to move roadblock. Another female resident charged that it gives people the impression that the police are afraid to remove the roadblocks since they have failed to do so since late last year. There are roadblocks on Wellington and York Streets, Cumberland and Somerset Avenues. It is nothing but a cover for men to walk up and down with guns. They don't want to remove the roadblocks as if they are assisting the thugs. People will be driving through the community and they are stopping them and ticketing them for seatbelt, and you are not telling the thugs to remove the roadblocks, the residents charged. Failure is not final, a guide to navigate setbacks. Lash knows all about rebuilding and starting over for the sake of his sanity. Coming out of a failed relationship and other setbacks, he finally came to the conclusion that failure is not final. That realization was the inspiration for him penning a book. Brought up in a religious community in all his life, Lash started preaching at age 14 and had a rapidly growing ministry with him preaching several times a week. I realized that I would make myself available to all, and there was not much reciprocity, while the aim was not for this, he recalled. After years of this practice, Lash got married during his darkest moments, especially during the struggles of his marriage, said the support was absent. His marriage, he said, was strongly influenced and motivated by spiritual leaders in whom he placed his confidence. In hindsight, he now sees that he was not guided properly, leading to him being insufficiently prepared going into the marriage. During his struggles to save his marriage, he said those he trusted for help didn't have the skill set to handle his problems and provide the kind of intervention he needed. Their intervention ultimately led to a worsening situation. Besides, I believe I was used and misused by many of these leaders for the gains they could get from the ministry God gifted me with. There was little care for the person, so as it became apparent that my marriage was failing and there were abounding issues, the neglect, the abandonment began, he shared, stating that his failed marriage led to suffering among himself, his spouse and his daughter. He knew he could not continue. The support provided during the marriage was also of poor quality to a large extent. However, regardless of the support, it's my opinion that the marriage would have failed due to the incompatibility of the individuals and the unwillingness to compromise with each other. Lash said his failed marriage started going downhill as he dealt with emotional abuse, having to live in an environment that was filled with quarrels, fighting, distrust, conflicts, hurt, pain, and little peace. During those years, he said he felt alone and that his mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical health were affected and compromised. Commenting on his book, Failure is Not Final, he said, although the book is not totally about his failed marriage, it was so impactful that it inspired the writing. After realizing he was not liking the person he was becoming, he said he knew it was time to walk away, as he came to the conclusion that it was better leaving than staying in a home that was affecting all the parties and especially compromising the health, growth, and development of his daughter. It would be better to have two healthy parents living apart and have the best of each of them than to have the two of them living together and destroying each other. To other couples, while he is not advocating walking away, he said once they are losing themselves, becoming what they are not, then it is time to step. For those who read his book, Lash said he wants them to use it as a guide to provide clear strategies to journey out of failure. I want them to understand that not all failures are even failure, but essential nutrients to them achieving their purposes. I want them to know that purpose is not a thing, rather, it's a lifestyle guided by principles that are clearly set out in this book he shared. Lash, who hails from St. Anne, is a past student of College of Agriculture, Science and Education at the University of the West Indies, Mona. His passion is using his life to give God the glory as he fulfills his purpose. I am a passionate humanitarian, Christian and agriculturist that is obsessed with success, he quipped. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.